France is a wonderful country. It's a country which is very diverse. It's very central in Europe. It's one of the main European economies. And this is also the home of gastronomy.
You can find big groups, you can find startups, young startups, you can find international organizations, multicultural groups and communities, so you can share your own culture, your own skills, and I'm sure it will be a great journey. Teaching in business schools is extremely interesting because we get to look at real-life examples of companies for management and marketing, and I prioritize student involvement, both in the participation in class and also in bringing topics that they're curious about. So I try to create a really interactive environment where everybody learns from each other. I learn from my students, and I hope that they learn from me too.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Darren Hunt. I'm the president of Or International School of Management. There you go. It's better when you can see all of me. I'm here today, not on my own. I'm with two other people to explain to you how you can consider coming to study in France. I'm actually talking to you from Paris. And we have another campus, which I'll explain to you in a short while. We're going to talk to you about why you should consider coming to France and why you should consider coming to study at Or International School of Management. Firstly, before I go further, let me just bring to screen a member of our team. Maha, where are you, Maha? Here you are. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon from India. Good afternoon from Sri Lanka also. Welcome all of you for the webinar.
Thank you. So Maha, as you can see on the screen, she's an admissions manager. And I said we're not alone. We're actually with Pavan. Pavan, can you join us? Here he is.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to all. Right. Good afternoon, Darren. And
Good afternoon.
hope everyone will understand what the importance of going to France is like,
Absolutely. Actually, Pavan, could you just explain to us basically who you are and what you do?
We are Synergy Consultants Private Limited, and what we do is we recruit students for various countries, and France is one. And Aura is a partner of ours, and we are looking forward to sending people who are interested in doing their MBAs, executive MBAs, or even international hospitality management to France to get their higher education done without any hiccups.
Good. That's great. I believe we actually have one of your students is already in our school, and we'll be hearing from her later. Yes. She couldn't be with us today, so she's actually made a short video talking about her experience with yourselves, and of course, once she arrived in France at the school. So I'll come back to you later, Pavan, if that's okay for the moment. What I'm going to do is go through the presentation.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So basically, what I'm going to do is show you a short presentation. I say short. I could make it hours long if I wanted to. That's not the objective today. What I will actually do is go through this fairly quickly. However, because it's on YouTube, you can go back to the video, you can click on stop, and you can look at any of the slides that you want to see in detail. We're on YouTube. In the comments box, you can actually give us all of your questions. We will answer them in questions and answers in just a while. So without further ado, if I bring to the screen the presentation, so it's Or International School of Management. As Pavan said earlier, we're proposing bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and an EMBA, which I will explain to you. It's an executive master's degree. Now, this is available in international business management and international hospitality management. So it's business or it's hospitality. But both of them are international courses, which means you will have an international diploma recognized in France, which means it's recognized anywhere in the world. I'll explain to you how we are linked to the government as an official school just a little later on. Management is the other word in the title, which is obviously a very important. We're creating managers of tomorrow. When you leave our International School of Management, whether it be with a BBA or an MBA, you are able to manage a team. Now, if it's a BBA that you've done, maybe it'll be a small team. It could be 10 to 15 people. With an MBA, it could be a lot larger team. When you are a manager, such as I am, you have to know a little bit about all of the different subjects that your team are covering and looking after, which means you need to know about HR, the hiring and firing of people, human resources. You need to know about digital marketing. You need to know about accounting. You need to know about everything within your business, because even if you're in hospitality and you said, wow, I want to be a chef, or I want to work on the front desk in a hotel, or I want to be a manager in a hotel, you still need to know about a little bit about the other subjects that your team are looking after. So I'll get into that in a moment. Just moving on. So Aura as a school is a fairly new school. We were created in 2021. It says on the screen it was created by myself. That's not strictly true. It was me and my team. There are many of us. I couldn't do this on my own. We are a private institution, but we are linked to the government. My boss, I'm the boss, but above me I have a boss, and my boss, technically speaking, I suppose, is the Minister of Higher Education and Research in France. We have two different campuses, which I will show you just after this, one in Paris and one in Lyon. Our programs that we've put together are very, very modern. What we actually done was we created new programs. We created them with our partner companies, which are international hotels and restaurants, international businesses in finance, marketing, real estate, everything you can imagine. We use their knowledge and we put together these programs. And you will see when we talk about the programs, what's really important is that you will see, I will be saying this every couple of minutes. 6 months studies, 6 months internship. We really made this program so that we can teach you and you can practice that immediately within a real life company. So moving on, if I show you and talk to you about the Paris campus, within Paris itself, in the west side of Paris, which is where I am now, in the west side of Paris, you have an area that's called La Défense. La Défense is actually the biggest business hub in Europe. Yep, the biggest business hub in Europe, and it's in Paris. So it just made sense for us to be there. Paris is obviously very well known for hospitality, but also for business, being the biggest business hub. So that's where our campus is. It's a very big campus. And you'll be able to see a couple of photos here on the screen. You've got one of the classrooms, you've got the entrance there, and you've got the cafeteria, quite big cafeteria we have, where you can eat, obviously, and drink in your free time and your lunch hour. There's a reading area, there's a games room you can't see on there. There's lots of other things. It's very big. Moving on to the Lyon campus. Now, we originally opened our first campus in Lyon. And the reason we chose Lyon was really two reasons. The first reason is that it's the second economic city in France. And the other reason is that it's actually known in France as being the capital of gastronomy. So all the big chefs basically came from here. Michelin stars, you may or may not have heard of. For hotels, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, and then palaces, which I'll talk to you about again in a moment, because we actually work with palaces, which are above 5 stars. But for top-end restaurants all around the world, they try to obtain what we call Michelin stars, and they originated from the city of Lyon. So it made sense for us to be there for those two reasons. Now, when you're actually, there's a couple of photos, sorry, from the campus in Lyon with some of the students playing in the games room. So when you actually think about moving abroad to study, one of the big things that you have to think about is the accommodation, because you need to know where you're going to live. And it is quite costly in Europe. Generally speaking, depending on where in the city you are, if you're in the centre or if you're on the outskirts, you're basically looking at 400 to 800 euros per month. Now, that sounds a great deal of money, and it is. However, there are two good bits of news I have for you. The first one is that Aura International, unlike any other school, actually proposes their own accommodation. So we do have accommodation that we can propose to you, whether it's in the campus in Lyon or whether it's in the campus in Paris. which means that it's going to be slightly cheaper for you. We're looking at somewhere between 400 to 600 euros. So it's already cheaper. The second bit of good news is that the government, the French government that want you to come and study with us, they actually will reimburse you or pay you, if you like, 35 to 50% of your accommodation each month. So imagine that you have an accommodation at 450, let's say 500, a round figure. Then that means that the government would pay up to half of this, which could be as much as 250 euros. So you see, the government are putting into place lots of things to make it easier for you to come and study in France. And there are many other things that they offer, which I'll show you in a moment. Second part, really, that's very important to us and certainly to you, are the internships. Each year, you will study 6 months, and immediately after those 6 months, you will go and complete your internship with one of our partner companies. Now, if it's in business, it could be finance, it could be digital marketing, it could be a large company or a small company, it could be an international company. If it's in hospitality, then most definitely it would be minimum 4-star hotel. If it's the hotel industry, most of the partners we have are 5-star, and we have a lot of palaces. Again, palaces are above 5-star. We have many of our students have actually come back recently over the last couple of months from doing their winter internship, and they were actually, some of them, in the ski resorts in the mountains, and some of our students were sending us photos. I had 2 students send me photos and said, look, sir, we've seen snow for the first time. So there's really so much to do there. In their spare time, one of them actually did start to ski. So the internships are really, really important. When you are completing your internship, you are paid each month. So it's a paid internship. You will receive no less than 623 euros and 70 centimes. Let's say 625 euros, keep it round. Now, it can be more than that. It depends. In business, generally, it's a little bit more. In hospitality, it's usually around the 625 mark, or maybe a little bit more. Why is it slightly less in hospitality? Because you have no accommodation to pay for. You will usually be staying in the hotel if it's a hotel you're working in. Obviously, if it's a restaurant, they would help you and it would be different. But in a hotel, you would actually be staying in the hotel. They feed you every day, 3 times a day, and you have your uniform that is taken care of and given to you each day. So you have no expenditure. It's really pocket money. So very important to remember, when you're doing your internship, you are paid each month. In your 6-month studies, which we talked about earlier, generally, most people have part-time jobs. 100% of the students we have in both campuses today, if they wanted a part-time job, they've got one. There are just a few students that didn't wish to have one. They didn't need to. So there you go. One other important point about the internship, so that we've had many students that have done their internship each year. If you do a bachelor's degree, you've done 3 years courses, which means each year, 6 months, you've been doing an internship. So 1.5 years in total of internship. We've actually had many students that have been offered jobs to actually keep them on and keep them in France to work there, and earning some very good salaries. Starting salaries can be as little as 1,800 to 2,000 euros a month, and can increase to almost double, depending on whether you're on a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. And again, you have all of the comfort of actually working. If it's in hospitality, generally they do give you accommodation and food. Even in restaurants, of course, you probably eat in the restaurant, so you're saving money all of the time, even if you have a full-time job there. So just showing you some of the partners that we have there, which are very international. Some of them you may or may not have heard of. We have finance on there. We have a lot of hotels, international hotels on there. And we also have the chambers of commerce. But that's just a few of the people, basically, that we have that are partners with us today. The big and the main benefits of coming to France, I'm going to tell you now. Most people think about going to the UK, which is where I originate from, although I'm French, but originally I was born in the UK, why I've got this such a good British accent. So France really want you to come to France. And most people think about going to the UK. They think about going to the States or New Zealand, Australia. I'm not saying that they're bad places to go. They're very good. However, more and more we're finding that people are coming to France because it's easier to get the visa. It's cheaper to study, and the government want you to come here. And they're helping you. How are they helping you? When you arrive in France, you'll have social security, health and insurance coverage for all international students. On the right-hand side of the screen, the CAF, the subsidy on accommodation rental for international students. I mentioned earlier, 35 to 50% of your rent each month will be paid for by the government. Internship assistance, that's ourselves that are going to give you your internship with one of our partner companies. Student concessions, because we are an official school in France, we can actually issue you with a government-backed card, although the card comes from ourselves. And with this card as a student, you can get concessions almost everywhere. Transportation can be up to 70% cheaper. If you go to the cinema, it's cheaper. If you go to museums, it's cheaper. The swimming baths. If you go to McDonald's, it's cheaper. Everything in France is cheaper for students, whether you're a French student or an international student. Again, just with this small student card. The Schengen visa. Now, the Schengen visa is the visa that you would need to come to France. Just one thing on the Schengen visa. You're coming to France to study, but because you have a Schengen visa, you can technically visit any of the other Schengen countries. Now, having said that, most of our students manage to get away because obviously they're working hard at school. They have some work after school, and then they have part-time jobs, etc. But during the holidays, the summer holidays, there are other holidays during the year, the Christmas holidays, then they get away. We have international airports, both in Lyon and in Paris, which means that you can have a low-cost flight with a big airline. And generally, for example, you could pay 30 euros to go to Barcelona and go there for the weekend or for the week. So it's very easy to travel around. You can be in Italy within less than an hour. So it's very easy to get around Europe in your spare time. So Schengen visa is what you need. But once you're here, you can use that to go elsewhere. Now, if I move on to the programs themselves, so I mentioned the Bachelor's in Business Administration, or the BBA, if you prefer, International Business Management, or International Hospitality Management. The course duration is 3 years. Course structure, and I'll be saying this each time, 6 months studies, 6 months internship. Eligibility criteria, the European Baccalaureate, which I don't think any of you would have, or maybe. High school diploma, 12th grade or higher secondary school certificate, or the equivalent in any stream. On the screen on the bottom, you have the course fees. So you have for Paris, 10,400 euros per annum, and for Lyon, 8,500 euros per annum. Now, Paris, you can see, is a little bit more expensive than Lyon, bigger city. It costs us more to run the school, of course, but there's also many opportunities there. We do have scholarships, which I'll be mentioning just after, and you'll see that with the scholarships that we have available, it actually works out pretty much the same price to go to Paris or Lyon. There is an administration fee of 320 euros each year, and the intake is September. It's actually the 2nd of September. So we're closing very soon the applications for September. So you'd need to be fairly quick if you want to get in, but there are still some places available depending whether you're doing business or hospitality. Just moving on to the MBA, so the Masters in Business Administration, again, same subjects, same specializations, International Business Management and International Hospitality Management. 2 years course this time, 6 months studies, 6 months internship, that's not going to change. The course fees you have here are 11,400 euros per annum in Paris and 9,500 euros per annum in Lyon. And again, there is a 320 euro administration fee. And the intake is, again, the 2nd of September. Now I'm going to talk to you about the EMBA. So what is an EMBA? Is it the same as an MBA? Yes, it is. In terms of the diploma, it's exactly the same as an MBA, except it's for people that already have some professional experience. So if you have your BBA, you have a bachelor's degree, and then you decided to go out and work, and you've had a minimum of 3 years work experience, then you can apply for an EMBA, which is a course either in international business management or hospitality management. This time the course is over 1 year, so over 12 months. And again, 6 months studies, 6 months internship. So technically, you could have your MBA within just 1 year, which is totally possible. This particular course is only available in the city of Lyon, in our campus in Lyon, and the course fee is €11,200 with a €320 admin fee. Just moving on to talk about those famous scholarships I mentioned. Now, this is on a first come, first served basis. We do ask you a couple of questions, but let's be totally honest. If you come from a very, very rich family, you're probably not going to be eligible. If you come from a normal working class family, then certainly you could. You can see there on the right-hand side of the screen for the first year in the campus in Paris, you would have, whether it's BBA or MBA, you have a €1,500 scholarship, which means that would be deducted from the cost of the course. And for the second year, €3,000 as a scholarship. In the campus in Lyon, nothing for the first year, but for the second year, you equally have a €3,000 scholarship. And for the EMBA, you have a €1,000. That's just for the first intake, because of course it's a 12-month course, just for 1 year. So just moving on, in terms of applications and how you actually apply, I'm not going to go into the details, but it's very, very simple. Everything is done online with just a very few amount of documents that we ask you for. Then we actually will conduct a minimum of 1 interview. It could be 2 interviews with a member of our local staff and then a member of the staff that are actually based in Paris or in Lyon. And then I would say literally within a week of you having applied, you would know if you've been accepted or not, and then we would take you and help you through the process with our valued partner that's here with us today. So the best thing for you to do is get in touch immediately, just as soon as you can. If you're interested in coming to France, get in touch with our partner, and then he will help you go through the process with Maha that you saw earlier. So Pavan and Maha are here to help you. Just moving on again, I'm going to talk to you about something that's called accreditations. Now, some of you may find this being the boring part of the presentation. What's it going to do for me? It is actually very important, because there are many schools. We're not the only school in France, of course. I do believe we're the best, but we're not the only school. And all schools should have some sort or some form of accreditation. Now, we have a few. I've just put the main 5 on the screen for you today. The first one on the right-hand side is AMBA, or Business Graduates Association, which you may not have heard of. Basically, they, as all of the accreditors, will actually say that this school in this particular subject is up to a certain level and the diploma is of great value. Then we have ICRI, which is specifically for the hospitality, a very well-known accreditation, but it is specifically for hospitality. Then we have the FMD Global, which actually cover all subjects. For ourselves, it's just the business side. Then we have RNCP, which you probably never heard of, which is probably the most important, or one of the most important ones on the screen. This is the French government that actually say this school is providing this course up to this specific level, which is what we require in France, which gives you your internationally recognized diploma. Then we have, which I'm very proud of, is the Chambers of Commerce and Industry. We're one of only 9 schools that are actually a partner with the Chambers of Commerce and Industry. So I'm very, very proud of that. So this is all guaranteeing that you're in a school that's linked to the government, 2, that they're providing the education that you need and that is useful for you in the future. So that's it. I've been very quick through this presentation. You've got our contact details on the screen there. I'm going to bring back in Maha. There you go. And I'm going to bring back in Pavan. But just before we go any further, I do actually have a quick video that I would like to show you, which is from Melanie. Melanie is a student that came through our valued partner and is actually in our school at the moment. So just this video, we'll look at the questions just after, and we'll be with you in a minute.
Everyone, my name is Melanie. I'm also a fellow student from Sri Lanka, just like you guys. And first of all, I'm so sorry I couldn't make the webinar today, but I thought I should share a small message with you guys, since you guys are also looking forward to come to France. I just wanted to say that the application process is very straightforward. It's very simple. There's really nothing you need to worry about. It's not too complicated. And for me, Mr. Pawan and his team at Synergy has always been very helpful, very patient, and always answered any questions that I had. And they've always been there and helped me out throughout it all. So I'm really thankful for them. And also, I've been here for about 3 months now, and life in Aura has been really great. And Paris is a very great country to study in, so it's really been great. And at Aura, all the staff there are very helpful, very welcoming. They're always there with a smile to help you with anything that you might have. It's been really great so far, and I think they're very pre-planned, because we're already looking into internships that we need to start for November. So I think that's really great, and I'm really glad that I found a school like this to complete my MBA. And I think one key point that I'd really like to add is for you guys to start learning French as soon as possible. I think having the basics would really help with finding a part-time job or even just getting around. But apart from that, I think it's been a really great experience, and I really hope I get to see you guys in the next semester. So if you really need any help when you come here, there's always people to help you. I'm always around as well. So I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Okay, so there you go. That was just one of the students that we have, Melanie, that's with us at the moment. So if we have a look now at some of the questions we have, let's have a look and see if I can bring those on screen. I think we've actually answered this one, which is from Raj. It would be great to know how the scholarship works for BBA studies. Quite simply, once you've applied, you literally just need to ask about the scholarships. We'll ask you a couple of questions, perhaps concerning your financial situation, but there's nothing more or nothing easier than actually just requesting it. And we hand them out on a first come, first served basis. Just to be very clear with you, what I actually do is at the end of each year, I decide how much money we're going to put in the pot, if you like, to help students for the following year. And we just keep using that, giving them out until we have no more. But we do still currently have scholarships available, so no problem there. Thank you for that question, Raj. Okay, I think this is more of a statement. Dishalini, I'm very sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but it looks about right. I'm Dishalini from Sri Lanka. I got offered from Aura for MBA in Paris. Congratulations. Congratulations. Let's have a look. What other questions do we have? How about the show money process? Okay, so this is perhaps one for you. How about the show money process for applying for the visa? Maha, maybe you could answer that, or Pavan, whichever one of you.
Yeah, so it depends on the campus that you're applying for. Suppose if you're applying for the Lyon campus, you have to show anywhere between 10,000 to 11,000 euros. Okay, this has to be ideally in your account, your local account, which you can show to the embassy as a statement that you have so much money. For Paris, you can show around 12,000 to 13,000 euros. Alternatively, a loan letter is also accepted, and the savings account is also accepted. Do you want to add something, sir, Pawan sir?
Well, actually, also I would like to say that you'll be paying the tuition fees upfront, so you don't have to have a portion of the
Yes.
tuition fees in the show fund as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Correct. Okay, thank you. We have another question. Raj, you have lots of questions for us. Let's have a look. Also, the next intake after December. Okay, so the next intake is the 2nd of September. We do have an intake in November. So if, for example, you're a little bit late for the September one, then literally just less than 2 months later, you'll still be coming into the school. But the November intake and the September ones fill up quite quickly. So you do need to apply as soon as possible. Also, because the visa process takes a certain amount of time, you could be looking at 8 to 10 weeks in total. That's not us. Within a week, we're ready and we tell you can come. However, it does take time to get you ready for the process and for you to go through the process. I hope that answered your question, Raj. Let's have a look. Do you have a March intake for BBA? We actually have a March-April intake 2, which will be in 2026 now. So you can see there are many opportunities. Basically, The intakes that we have are in place so that whenever you want to apply to come, you never have to wait more than 2 or 3 months and you'll be in France. In 10 to 12 weeks, you could be in France studying and enjoying France. I think I've just answered that question, which will be the first intake. Well, that will be the March, April one. I say March, April because generally it's April, but sometimes it can be the end of March. So it really depends each year. And we won't know until I think it's September, the actual date for next year. How to apply from Colombo? Okay, I think this one's for Pavan, surely.
Yes, so I think the contact details are available on the Facebook promotion that we have done so far. You can contact Miss Himeshi. She is the one coordinating all the students, right? And also, if possible, our office is based in Rajagiri. We have another office in Jaffna as well. If you want to, you can visit Synergy Consultants in Rajagiri and directly come and meet me or one of our team members. They will be more than happy to help you out.
Okay, that's great. You have got the details on the screen. I've put them up there so you can contact this particular person, Himeshi, if I pronounced that right. Himshi, maybe?
Yes.
Himshi.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can contact Himshi. You have a main number on the screen there, and she'll be happy to take you through the process and pass you on to one of her colleagues if needed, depending on what your query is. Let's have a look. We have another question from Dishalini again. I'm waiting for acceptance letter for visa application. I need information regarding the accommodation facilities. Okay, so quite simply, I haven't got this on screen for you, but all of our email addresses are pretty much the same. You can actually go through the person that you've been dealing with, the admissions manager, and they will give you the address. But if you write to accommodations@aura-group.com. The person there, Sarah, will be able to help you, depending on whether you're going to Lyon or whether you're going to Paris. But there are many, many opportunities. So don't hesitate just to get in touch with us and we'll be able to sort you out for your accommodation. No problem at all. This is a good one. Raj again, or Raj. English requirements, please. I can actually answer that one. Well, I think we all could, all three of us could. Basically, to come to France, you do not need any particular certification. What I mean is that you don't need to have IELTS or any other certification to come to France. What you do need is to have a good level of conversational English and understanding. So basically, if you've understood me today and you've understood my colleagues, you should be okay. But the first interview that you would have with ourselves would just be a conversation where we can understand your level of English, because we are very competitive in the educational market within France. The average cost for studies in France is 12,000 euros, and we're well below that. But you see, when you're going to a school, you're going to pay for your courses, whichever school you go to. It's a lot of money. You have to be able to understand what you're being taught so that you can get your diploma. I know that sounds very obvious, but I have to say that. So it's more conversational. We have to understand you. You have to understand us. And it will be the same when you go for your visa. They will be talking to you 100% in English. You do not have to speak any French. Although, as Melanie said earlier, if you can start learning French before leaving Sri Lanka, that would be fantastic. Even if you have just a few words, basic words and understanding, that would be fantastic. So it's just conversational English. That's all you need. One thing I would add to that, if I may, is you need to seriously think, and I know Pavan will be, I hope will be in agreement with me. When you're deciding you want to go to a country and a particular school for your education, you need to be able to explain this when you go for your visa, which means you should know why you want to go to France. Why have you chosen France? If you want to find out more about France, just go to our website. We explain it all. Or just type France in Google and it will explain to you. So they want to know why you've chosen France. Why have you chosen to come to our country? Why have you chosen Or International? Just go on the website, look at the courses, make sure it is adapted to what you want to do today, and above all, what you want to do tomorrow. So why are you going to France? Why are you going to Or International School of Management? What is your project once you've finished your studies? Do you want to stay in France? Do you want to go back to Sri Lanka? Do you want to go to another country? Be honest with them. Just have a conversation and be honest with them and be honest with us. Okay, so those three things are the most important. But then, of course, there are other things like the financial issues. You have to make sure that you have sufficient funds, etc. All that the government wants to know is that you have sufficient funds to be able to live comfortably. We don't want you to suffer when you come to France. You have to be able to live comfortably, and that you've chosen the right country, the right school, and the right degree. So that's all that people are looking for. Sorry if I babbled on a bit, but that's really an important part. And anybody want to add anything to that? Maha,
Darren, to add on to that, of course, our team in Sri Lanka will assist you on getting the relevant information that you require, right? So that you can actually find out about the university, about France, anything you can actually, because we do a small training for visa interviews, and also we see there are two aspects of communication, right? One is the content, the other one is the language, of course, right? Raj, the thing is, when it comes to English language competency, it is just, if they are just checking whether if you are able to communicate and understand what they are trying to say. That is it, right? So you don't have to think like a rocket scientist and go all over getting training and all that. The level of education in Sri Lanka supports this. So the communication level in Sri Lanka is okay currently. So don't worry about it. All you have to do is just to get to know the content. That's it. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Pavan. Just two other things. How much semester fees for BBA? That was in the presentation earlier, so you can see that. Just go back through the video. Just one other one here. The maximum age for MBA from Chamila.
Yeah.
Maha?
So if you're applying for a regular MBA, you can be up to 25, 26 years of age. If you're applying for the executive MBA, which is a 1-year program, it has to be maximum 35 years of age.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you for that. So I just have one other point that I wanted to talk about, because obviously this is something that people will ask because it happens. How about if I apply for my visa and it's rejected? That can happen. Let me tell you that in general, especially for countries like Sri Lanka, in general, the government want you to come to France. We want you to come to France. They will do all that they can to help you so that you get your visa. There are rejections. Rejections are generally because you've had a bad day. You arrived and you just got stressed, which is why we try to, again, with Pavan, we try to prepare you for this interview, even mock interviews, because people do get stressed. Everybody does. And that can actually fail you on the day. It could also be things that we may not have seen, something to do with finances. So there are different reasons. It is rare, but it can happen. If we sent somebody that was not at all prepared and had half of the documents they needed, definitely you would get refused. If you are refused, let me just tell you that we have, at least off the top of my head, I personally know at least 5 or 6 students, but there are many more, that were rejected the first time, reapplied, and then were given the second time. And they didn't understand. And I'll be honest with you, for a couple of them, we didn't. They had the same documents. I think it was just on the day. They were more at ease, perhaps because they knew what was going to happen. The first time they were all stressed because they didn't know, and they were very impressed by the people in front of them. And then all of a sudden, the second time, they knew what it was going to be like, so it was easier. So we've only got one, I think, unless Maha tells me differently. We've got one student that actually was so determined to come to Aura, he applied and was rejected 3 times. Was it, Maha? Was it 3 or twice?
Twice. Last time.
Twice. He was rejected twice, and on the third time, he got his visa. So it can happen. It does happen. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But it doesn't mean that you can't apply again and, of course, obtain your visa. Now, very last point, and again, this is Raj, but I do thank you for this. Raj says it's really the best webinar I've ever attended. Everything is very clear. Thank you very much. I'm looking at a BBA program for my son. Probably we are planning to apply for the 2026 first intake. Well, Raj, thank you. If you do have any other questions, don't hesitate to get either in touch with ourselves or our trusted partner here, Pavan, today. I'm just going to put their details, if I can just find them once again on the screen so that you have You have their phone number, and I'm desperately trying to find it. There it is. Okay, so you have their details on the screen. Don't hesitate to get in touch with them. You've seen Melanie that's explained to you what it's like as somebody from Sri Lanka, having used our partners' services and coming over to France and living here. And she's been here for almost 4 months now. So just thank you for having been here today. My last word is just thank you to you all. I hope to see you all in France very soon. And please, please, please don't hesitate just to subscribe to our channel, because we have obviously news and all the latest information that would be on the channel. So it just makes it easier for you. Pavan, can I just have a last word from yourself?
So, Darren, thank you very much for your time today. It has been very informative for all our students, right? And of course, from the back end, we are more than happy to support all the inquiries that comes in, and you're more than welcome to come and talk to us. And please remember that everything that you require, every information that you may need, we will provide that for you. So once again, thank you, Darren, for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
sir.
and goodbye from Maha too, I imagine.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. Have an absolutely wonderful evening, and we hope to see you in France soon. Thank you.